Namaste and welcome to React Bits Live episode 2. And in this episode we are going to build a Android launcher application in Flutter. So we are going to build a launcher application, Android launcher application using Flutter. But before that I'll display you the demo. So this is a quite simple launcher. The home page is clean, that displays the actual wallpaper, actual system wallpaper. This background here is not applied statically. This is displaying the actual wallpaper of the system. If I go to the actual home launcher, then that is what is the wallpaper, and here we can get the list of all the applications, and we can either use list view or grid view to list applications. And finally, when we tap the application, it successfully opens the application and we are able to launch the application inside from our launcher. And we can even set our application as the default launcher. I'll show that later in the demo. So to get started, I'll create a new Flutter project. So the final source code of this project will be provided in the description after the live stream is complete and the video is published later. So you'll have the source code in my GitHub repository, and I'll provide the link in the description. So watch out for that. And to start with, to make a launcher, we'll have to do some native changes. So we'll have to write some native codes in Android. So let me open the Flutter launcher app that we just created using VS Code. Okay. So first we'll add some required dependencies. So we need few dependencies. One for getting the list of applications from the device. Hello Ranjit and Newman. Hi everyone. So thank you for being here. So now let us add the required dependencies. So in this episode I'll continue slower so that you can follow along with me if you like, and build your own launcher application that you can use, that you can put in your portfolio, or that you can put in your GitHub repository, make it open source so that others can learn as well. Yeah, so first we'll add device app dependency, device apps dependency, and next we'll add river pod. So I'll be using river pod for state management again, and device app is at version 1.2.0. This device app plugin provides us with the list of applications that are installed in our mobile, and it also allows us to open the application. Okay, and another is Flutter river pod for state management, 0.7.2 version of Flutter river pod. Once you do this, get packages, it should run automatically. If it doesn't, you can run flutter pub get, or you can run directly download it from here or anywhere. So once you do this, before running this application, we have some native changes. So we need to do some native changes. Why? In order to display this wallpaper, we need to make the Flutter window transparent. By default, the Flutter window has a black background, the opaque background that is not transparent. So we need to do some changes in the styling, and some changes in the Android theme, and some changes in our main activity. So let us begin with that. First, I'd like to define a style in Android that supports transparency or that supports transparent window. For that, go to Android, inside app, inside source, and in main you have a resource folder, and inside resource folder you have values. There you have styles.xml. okay, in the styles.xml we'll define a new style. Style name will be transparent, so this will be a transparent theme. Parent will be Android theme. Okay, so we are defining a transparent theme so that our window is transparent and we can view this system wallpaper in the background instead of the opaque background of the Flutter window. Now we need to add certain items here. Window is translucent and value will be true. Okay, let me duplicate this. Next, Android window background, so here we'll give a transparent color. Android, okay, we give a transparent color. Again, let me duplicate this and window content overlay, make this null, and window no title, make this true. Background dim enabled, false. And finally, to display the wallpaper we need to add window show wallpaper and make this true. So this should create our transparent theme. Now we need to apply this in our main activity. So to do that, we go to app manifest.xml of main. So inside Android src main Android manifest.xml, and in main activity we provide theme. Instead of launch theme, we provide theme dot transparent we just created. So theme dot transparent, make sure the spelling is correct, otherwise you'll get error. Okay, add style slash theme dot transparent. So this is our transparent theme. Next, you need to remove this meta tag. You can just comment it out because this overrides the transparent theme defined above with normal theme. We don't want that, and we can leave others as it is. Now one more thing we need to do to make window transparent possible is in our main activity file. We need to import few things. So import Android OS bundle and import dot so we need to import this background mode transparent from Flutter embedding library, Flutter activity launch config, and now we need to override on create function of the main activity. Okay, on create state, this is bundle, and here we need to define intent dot put extra background mode, and here we pass in we imported above. This transparent is the value that we just imported above, and finally we call the super dot on create saved instance state. So by adding all of these, now we are able to make our Flutter window transparent and we'll be able to display the wallpaper instead of the opaque background. Now finally we need to do one more change, that is to allow this app to become a launcher or set it as a default launcher. We need to add two intent filter inside our main activity. So in main activity intent filter, we need to add two more values. So that will be category Android name equal to so we need to add home category, and next we need to add default. So this default category allows this app to be set as default, and this home category allows this app to become a launcher. So adding this, I think we are done with the native changes. Okay, now we can build and run our application. So let me go to main.dart. Let me just simply run this for now. Okay, once we run this, we can make this transparent, but right now I think it suits so white background because we are using scaffold, and by default scaffold has a white background. So it's building. Let's hope there isn't any error. So if you get any errors, that means you made mistake somewhere while modifying these Android native files. So if you made any errors, then you need to revisit and you need to exactly do as I have done. So you can see that we are seeing the white page and all of this. So to remove that, what we need to do is we need to set here background color transparent. Okay, now you can see the actual wallpaper of the system just by adding this transparent in our scaffold. Okay, now what I'd like to do is I'd like to remove all of this. So let me remove these comments. Okay, I'll build the home page that we had earlier. That is a simple home page. Let's remove this home page widget. Instead, we create our own home page widget, and let me remove this home page. Okay, stateless widget, home page, and here instead of container again scaffold, this time background color transparent. So this should give us a empty screen, and as I showed you in the example, we need apps button here at the bottom app bar, or we can simply use floating action button. So I'll simply use floating action button. I don't set background color, child apps on pressed. For now, let's just set it empty. So what we want is when we press this button, we want our apps page to be loaded. Let's set the location. Location center docked. Okay, we now have it in the center. Let's set the elevation 0 of the floating action button. Let's set it 0. Looks cleaner with our look. Okay, now we have a apps button. Now what we need to do, we need to define our apps page and add a route here. So to add a route, I'll simply add routes, and here apps and right now it will just return home page again, because we have not defined another page, but we'll define another page soon. So let us create another file inside our lib folder, that will be apps.dart. Okay, and in apps.dart, for now we'll just simply create a simple stateless widget. And let's import material, and in app bar we'll remove the title and we'll make the app bar transparent, and also elevation will set to 0. Now we can navigate from this to apps page. Right now it doesn't navigate, so here instead of home page I'll use apps page. Okay, and once I do that, I can hot restart, and now I can go to apps page. I should be able to go to apps page. Let me check. Okay, it's not going to. Oh, okay, I have not added the navigation here, so push named apps. Okay, once I add this, now if I tap, I'm taken to the apps page, and my emulator is currently in dark mode. You can see it here, and if you want to enable dark mode support in your application, in Flutter application, now Flutter has dark mode support by default. We just need to provide dark theme. So in dark theme data.dark, just by doing this we can support dark theme, and our application automatically changes to dark theme, because currently the system has the dark theme. So now easily our application also supports the dark mode. Okay, now that we can navigate to apps page, now the actual works come. Let me remove this debug banner. So our app should not have debug banner, because this is professional launcher application, guys. So let's remove. Let's remove the debug banner. Nice. Now we have a professional application, that is a production application. So yeah, we have a production application. Now what I'll do is, first I'll set up RiverPod, and I'll get a list of applications from device apps plugin. Okay, let me close this styles, manifest, and even PubSpec. And what I like to do is, first I'll set up a state here. So let me add appstate.dart. Okay, I'm adding appstate.dart here, and in appstate.dart we'll import RiverPod. So first we import device apps, and we'll import Flutter RiverPod. Now we'll define a simple future provider. Simple future provider, that is of type list of application. So this list of application is returned to us by the device apps plugin, and ref, this will let us call device apps dot get installed application, and we'd like to include app icons true. So we want the application icons as well to be displayed in our application. Now using this provider we can get the list of application in our apps page. Okay, so let us see how to do that. Let me first wrap this scaffold with consumer widget. Okay, let me wrap this with consumer widget, and here it uses builder and builder gives us context, watch function and child that we are not using, and it returns a scaffold. Let me convert this to block body. And for consumer we need to import river pod. Okay, we are importing river pod. Now we need to watch our apps state, apps provider. So to do that, watch apps provider that we defined earlier. Okay, now that we are watching the apps info in the body, what we need to do is when. So apps info is a future provider, so we use when method to define what to do when it's loading, when there is error, and when there is data. So the data is list of application apps. Okay, this application we need to import it from device apps plugin, and here we will return a grid view builder. And when it is loading, let's just show center child circular progress indicator. Again, this loading is a function. And finally, error is a function that gives us error. I think error gives us error and stack trace. So trace, in this case I'll simply return container, empty container for now. Okay, now we can build the grid view when we have the apps. So grid delegate, I'll use a simple grid delegate with fixed cross axis count. With fixed cross axis count, and cross axis count, let's just use 4. And finally, item builder will be context index here application with icon apps. So this list of application is actually a application with icon, because we have requested icon while loading the application, while getting the list of installed application. Okay, thank you Subham. Yes, I also love the dark theme support. And yes, so we are loading with app icons. So here we get application with icons instead of application. And now finally we can display our application. So to display the application, I'll create a simple grid item. Here I'll create another widget, stateless widget, app grid item, and here we'll pass application with icon app, this dot app. So finally displaying here, we'll start with inkwell, because we need to be able to click on the app. On tap, for now it's an empty function. Later we'll launch application here, and child will be column children. First we'll display the app icon. Okay, so we'll use a container. We'll give a simple padding, 8.0, 8-point padding. Hello Hakan bro, I hope I spelled your name, pronounced your name correctly, and child image.memory. So the app icon actually provided returned to us by the application info is in memory. It's a united list, so we need to use image.memory, and we'll pass app.icon, and we'll give a fit content and width maybe 40 points. And finally we also need to display the name of the app, so here we'll display text app name, and we want app name to be displayed in one line only, so max lines 1, and overflow, we want overflow to be clipped, overflow dot ellipses, so at the end it will show 3 dots if app name overflows. Okay, so that's about it. Here we need to return app grid item, app is app. Once we do this, if we go to this, so no provider scope found. Yeah, so I forgot one thing. In order to use reverb pod, we need to wrap our material widget with provider scope that is provided in the reverb pod. Okay, we need to add provider scope. Now we can go to our apps page, and it will load and display the list of applications. So here we are getting error because we have not limited the number of items in the grid view. So in grid view dot builder, we need to pass item count apps dot length. Adding this will fix this index error. Okay, now we have a list of application. Now what we want to do is, when we tap this application, we want this application to be opened, right? In order to do that, we are again provided with a method from this device apps plugin. So this device apps plugin has open app method that we can use. So in on tap method, what we can do, apps dot open app, and we need to pass app dot package name. So after we pass the app dot package name, we can open this application. So let me try and open. See, now this application is open, and when we go back to our launcher application. See how easy it was. Let us add some styling. So what I'd like to do, in grid view I'd like to add padding. Say 8-point padding. This looks neat. Okay, and let's provide some spacing between grid items. Cross axis spacing 8.0, and main axis spacing again 8.0. So this should give us nice spacing around the app icons. Okay. Now finally we'll add support for changing the list view and grid view, and it is very simple. We'll use reverb pod here. For that, first we'll define a enum display mode, and this will be grid and list. Okay, and we'll provide it. So final mode provider is equal to state provider of type display mode, and by default it will have the value of mode.grid. Okay, now we can watch this as well. So down here we can watch mode is equals to watch mode provider. We can watch the mode provider. Let me hot restart, because we are changing the state. We need to hot restart. So let me just hot restart, and down here what I'll do is we'll check the state. So mode dot state equals display